Okay, let's see. Turned on a little light. I know it's a little loud, so I'm actually going to close the door. Look at here. It's so slow. It's a delay. Let me give it a moment to see if it can straighten itself out. And I'm going to close the door too because it's raining and I want this to be able to be heard. Okay. That should be better. What's going on, y'all? Now, it is a delay, but I'm going to keep going because I don't want to have to upload it. It's too much work. And I haven't done anything with my YouTube channel in a minute. And I definitely wanted to share some things. I've been sharing things to my Instagram. If you notice, like people who have actually watched my YouTube videos, you'll know that when my hair was Sophia, I called her Sophia because that's when you could see my wisdom, my white hairs. I think it was February the 12th or 13th, sometime around that time, I actually put in henna in my hair because I felt it was time to actually start doing things with it because I had done so much ego work, like just getting rid of the ego. And when I say getting rid of the ego, it's unraveling all those things that I had built up in my head and said, this is who I am. This is how I feel. I had to actually take inventory. You have to go within. I had to take inventory of the way I looked at myself, the way I saw myself, the thoughts that I thought about myself, which were so horrible, y'all. My insecurities were so bad, so bad. I cared way too much about what people thought about me. And so when my hair was Sophia, I was given a lot of wisdom. I read books, but like the most beautiful king that I've ever seen on this planet, Bobby Hemmett, if you have not tapped into that energy, please do that. Because to me, he's the only true conscious teacher. That's why he no longer does it, because he's already done what he's supposed to do. And he already saw that the conscious movement was an ego show. It was all masculine energy at the beginning because it had to be. Everybody had to see a man's face because nobody would listen to a woman. People still don't listen to us. People still cut me off when I speak, women and men. And that is because women are not women. Women actually think more like men because we've been trained to do so. I had to deprogram myself. I had to unrobe my ego because the emperor has no clothes. Your ego has no clothes. It's all these masks and things that we put on, to protect ourselves. The ego is something that's created to protect ourselves. And I get it. I understand it. But we are in a time where you have to shed it. You have to shed the ego. And not only do you have to shed the ego, you have to put it behind you. Satan, get thee behind me, right? It's supposed to be the tail, not the motherfucking head. The problem is people are letting their ego lead them. And that's the world that we live in, where nobody cares for anyone. No one loves anybody. And this whole thing about Earth is about love. 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 Real love. Real love speaks truth. That's what love is, y'all. Love speaks truth. Everybody's so used to people lying to them because you lie to yourselves. You lie to yourselves about your feelings because you bury your feelings. And guess what your feelings are, my loves? Your feelings represent your feminine energy. Your emotions is your feminine energy. It's your emotional body, and your emotional body has been suppressed. The physical form of a woman is representation of your emotional body. You'll notice that I've shed a lot of pounds, and I'm okay with that because I realize that fat is stored up emotions. We are emotional eaters because we've been taught to suppress. We have never been taught how to deal with our emotions. Our emotions have been suppressed, just like the feminine energy has been suppressed in a woman, especially the Black woman, especially a dark-skinned Black woman, because we are the most hated, right? The dark skin, even though mine is not as dark as some of the most beautiful queens I've ever seen in my life, who are just like jet black, beautiful, are representation of the universe, representation of the inner verse, the inside invisible world, right? And from the darkness comes the light. Your soul lies in that darkness. And until you do the work, you will not be able to ascend from the school of earth. When you ascend from the school of earth, you have changed it from earth to heart. Earth is your heart, niggas. And we have been denying and blocking our heart for so long, we don't even know what love is. Summer Walker, you don't know what love is. But you have to forgive yourself for not knowing it, because who taught you what love is? Our parents didn't know. Their parents didn't know. And they still don't know. What you're supposed to learn from your parents, to be honest, a parent is supposed to be a spirit guide. They're supposed to guide your soul so you can ascend. That's what everybody's supposed to be, a teacher and helping you ascend. And to be honest, people are actually teaching you, but we're so caught up in the hurt and burying the pain. We don't want to feel. We numb ourselves with food, with drugs, with weed, with liquor, with TV, with social media. We like all these distractions so we don't have to deal with what we feel. But I'm gonna be honest, if you don't allow yourself to feel, you will never heal, my loves. You will never, ever heal. This right here, this red hair, you can't really probably see that it's red, but the parts of my hair that's white is really red. This hair is called Phoenix. That's why this is titled Phoenix from the Ashes. When I bought this henna, I was going to get black because I'm so comfortable with black, right? But my spirit said, nope, you're going to get this red wine. It's called red wine or burgundy wine, something like that. So I listened to my spirit and I got it. I didn't understand it. I started coloring my hair and it started being revealed to me exactly why I now felt like I could color it, because I had allowed myself to break down my standard of beauty. I used to hate my premature gray white hairs, even though they're very white. They're not gray, they're very white. I hated it. So I had to sit with it for 4 years. For 4 years, I allowed myself to not color my hair. I didn't really get into combing it like that and taking time and care with it, because guess what I was doing? I was asking my hair how to care for her. I was asking her what she needed from me. I understood. I started to understand that we're supposed to be talking to ourselves, every atom in our body, not commanding them, talking to them, getting to really know every environment. Your hair is its own environment. Your skin is its own environment. The inside of your body, your heart, your digestive, you have 12 systems and they are their own environment. And we haven't been taught to respect it enough to talk to it and ask it, what does it need? When you have a stomach ache, ask your stomach why it's aching. What does it need from you? What do you need to stop doing? We're so caught up in this quote unquote 7 deadly sins, which are in correlation with your 7 chakras, absolutely in correlation. And your chakras are your emotions. Your chakras are your emotional body, my loves. And our emotional bodies have been out of whack for so long. Mine is actually finally in alignment and in balance, right? When I turn, and I don't like age, I ask people now, how long have you been on this journey? I have been on my journey in this lifetime for 42 years, which is no time in spirit. But here it seems like a long time, right? And when I hit the 42 mark of my journey, I started to see things so much clearer because I was in tune. It was like these two were speaking to one another. It was no longer a disconnect. And I started to see things, one eye, left eye. I started to see things for what they truly are. I started to see people for who they truly are. This right here, you can talk a good game, but I see you and I feel who you truly are. Avatar, I see you. That's why on my Instagram, I have no fucks to give. This red hair is Martian energy. It's warrior energy. I am the phoenix that has risen from the motherfucking ashes, y'all. I am from ATL, Georgia. Look it up. There's a statue that is called Phoenix from the Ashes, and it's a black woman, as we like to call it. It's a black woman that statue, and she is holding up a phoenix. That phoenix represents your soul. When I came, well, actually, I went to Jamaica. I flew into Montego Bay for my 42nd birthday. It was right. I flew in on, it was such a tedious, it was hard work to get to Jamaica, y'all, because they made me get a COVID test to go over to that bitch, and I wasn't going to pay for it. So I had to find a place where I can get free testing. And the rapid testing, they want you to pay for it. You got to schedule an appointment. You got to do this. You got to do that. So my spirit led me to this place, because at the time I was with this female that I called my sister, and she Googled and she found the place, and we drove up because I rented a car, because we drove from Albany to Atlanta, because I had a flight that I was supposed to fly out on Saturday, and I actually didn't get to fly out to Sunday evening because of this COVID testing. I wasn't going to get the test because the man was like, nope, you won't probably get it back till Monday. I was like, well, my flight is Sunday, sir, and I have to leave on Sunday. He was like, well, you know what? I think you should go ahead and take this test, and then sometimes they get it to you sooner. I went ahead and took the test, where this lady took this long ass Q-tip and stuck it as far as she can get in my nose, to the point that they made me cough. It hurt, right? After the test, I sent an email once I got back to my sister's house, because that's where I stayed until I flew out. And I told them what was going on. I told them that I was flying out, and if they could please expedite it and get it to me by tomorrow. I got a response the next day, and they got it to me like 4 hours before my flight. So everything worked out, yes, but it was work for me to get there. But I knew I needed to go to Jamaica. I just knew that I needed to have my 42nd birthday there. Why is that? I had pulled my solar return chart and saw that if I were to have my solar return in Jamaica, I would have a Virgo ascendant. My natural chart, my mundane natal chart, I have a Cancer ascendant. Cancer represents the Earth Mother. It is the fourth house. It rules the fourth house, and the moon governs it, right? So if Cancer rules the fourth house, then guess who rules the fourth house? The motherfucking mother, not your father, the mother. The reason why we're living in the upside down is because we've given men too much power. We told them that they are the head when they are not. They are not the head of the household. The women are. We've always been, right? The woman carries the child for 9 months. 9, the number of divinity, carries the child for 9 months in her universe, her innerverse, her womb, her crystal palace. She's creating. That's where creation occurs. So in our sacral chakras, we're holding life, bringing new life into this earth, right? So your fourth house is representative of your Earth Mother. Big up Baba Bobby Hemmett and Brother Panic, because they taught me that the Black woman is representative of Mary Magdalene, the whore, the one who took her crown and she washed Jesus' feet with her crown. She was baptized in that motherfucker, his Pisces energy, because remember, Jesus represents the age of Pisces. So the woman had to do that, not the 12 disciples, because the 12 disciples are the zodiac signs, and they are animals. They have no self-control. So we literally have people running around claiming zodiac signs because they are animals. They are the beast. Humanity is the beast. There is nothing beautiful about humanity. Humanity does not need to be saved. Humanity needs to ascend to a motherfucking God mind. I remember I did a video, y'all. I'm going to get back into the mother. Give me a moment. I did a video talking about the Holy Trinity of your natal chart. Your ascendant sign, which represents your soul's purpose, why the fuck you came here, right? Mine is Cancer, the Earth Mother. I came here, the mother people. That's why I didn't need to have any children yet, because everybody was my motherfucking child, including my mother and my father. They just didn't notice it. They didn't know it, including my 3 sisters. They just don't, and they still don't notice it. They still don't know it. They still try to talk to me like they're teaching me something. Yes, they did teach me some things. They taught me how to find who I truly am. They taught me how to not care about anybody's motherfucking opinion but my own. Yes, respect people when they tell you some things about your ego, because it's only to help you grow. But I am at the point right now, my loves, where I have gotten my ego in control. My 12 zodiac signs are disciplined. I am the ringmaster. I stand in the center, right? That is what your natal chart is. That is what it is. Now, I know I was going somewhere else, but obviously I was supposed to come back to the mother, so I'm going to go back to it. So I did make it to Jamaica. It took me almost 12 hours to get there because I had 11 some hour layover. Yeah, actually probably about 13 hours. So I fly into Montego Bay. I fly in and I meet with this man who I know I'm no longer supposed to be with, but I knew there were some things that I was supposed to put an end to. And that had to do with his son, who he had been beating on and abusing. He's a bully. The man I was dating, he's a big ass bully. He hates black women. He will call my lips fat lips, big nose. And he said it in such a derogatory way. Yet his mother, her nose is bigger than mine, and her lips are bigger than mine, and she's darker than me. But he hates black women so much, which means he hates himself and he hates his true reflection, like the most of these black men. That's why they have to get high yellow women almost looking like they're quote unquote white. And when I use the word white, I'm going to big up and give credit to Asir the Duke of Tears, because he said really white is WIGHT. The WHITE means light. It's like the chessboard, the light and the dark, and we represent both. So they cannot be white. They are WIGHT, right? They are Slavs. They are Slavic. That's where the word slave comes from. So every time you call yourself a slave, you're cursing yourself and you're keeping yourself in a generational curse and a cycle. I call myself a royalty. I call my queens queens and I call my kings kings, even though y'all really don't deserve that title. But I will give it to you because it's your birthright and you just don't fucking know it yet. So I call you that regardless of how you act. Right? Now, so in Jamaica, the first thing I do is I smoke a little weed, eat some good food, and then the man that I was with, who calls himself a king, and he has no right to call himself that, but whatever, takes me back to a place he's staying, and it's beautiful, y'all. I have pictures of it and videos, and I will share it to my IG if you want to see it. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. The melanated people, because you know Jamaica is a quote unquote majority black country, they have land I think it's the Hanover area on the west coast of Jamaica near Montego Bay, and they built houses on there. They look like townhouses, and their whole family stays on that land. Their whole family stays on that land like a fucking community. One motherfucking love. Everybody's not trying to build on their own. Got houses where you got to pay taxes on it. You got to pay a mortgage on it, and mortgage is dead. It's a dead thing. Morgue is a dead thing. Mortar, whatever, however you pronounce it, is dead, right? Brick and mortar, it's mortar. That's how you pronounce it. And it has tar at the end of it, black. Anywho's. So this man is coughing. We're laying in a bed together. Mind you, I haven't had sex with anybody in almost 3 years, because I have been cleaning out my body and purging myself of all these energies, because sex is a sacred energy exchange. And I had allowed all these energies inside of me. And so I was confused, thinking that these feelings belong to me when they belong to the many women that these men had been with, and also this man, these different men. So I got all these energies that I had to purge out my body. And it took me almost 3 years to do so, but I did it. So anywho, we're laying in the bed and he starts coughing. You all should know by now that I am the holistic energy alchemist. In these hands, what comes out of this is motherfucking power. As tiny as this frame is, I am very powerful. So for all the people who did not want to pay for my services, who did not want to support a melanated queen, it's okay. Because now I only offer these services for people who are ready for a spiritual initiation. I understand my cardology card. My transformation is the Jack of Spades. That is a spiritual initiator. I initiate motherfuckers to a higher level of themselves. And it's going to be painful, yeah. But if you're willing to do the work, you will come out on top, bitch. You will rise like the phoenix from the ashes, just like I did. So anywho, we're laying in the bed. He's coughing, just coughing, laying on his back. I take my right hand and I put it right on his heart. And I could feel the energy just moving and pushing out. And he coughed a little bit and then he stopped coughing. And he never coughed again for the remainder of the time I was there. And I was there from November the 23rd until January the 22nd. He did not cough anymore. I healed that motherfucker of his affliction, right? Because I'm the holistic energy alchemist, bitch. I am healsol. I'm not a business. I don't call it a business. It's my soul's service that I'm giving to y'all. So niggas gotta pay for it. When I was giving it away for a cheaper amount because I didn't know my value, now you gotta pay me because I know my value. You should have got it. Y'all should have got it when it was actually much, much cheaper. The reason why people gotta pay because y'all so consumed with money. And I just got 20. It was actually 2022. Y'all didn't understand that the value was in this. And so now people have to pay me real shit because I'm worth it. I am the real motherfucking value. I have saved myself. I didn't wait for a Jesus to come out of the sky. I did not wait for any of these male teachers that everybody's so enamored with. Because like Aquarius Maximus said, the Queen Aquarius Maximus, females, we have been dickmatized. We have given these niggas way too much credit. The reason why the Black woman had to be by herself, again, this came from the goddess Aquarius Maximus, actually the queen, because she's still working on her goddesshood. However, I see her getting there, right? She said that women have given our power away. The Black woman, we gave our power away to men. We put them on a pedestal and we put ourselves down on the bottom. And since we did that, we needed to be alone. We needed to be the angry Black woman. We needed to actually deal with our own sickness. We Black women, we are going, some of us are still going through an identity crisis. On the outside, we want to look like a white woman, but our mindset is of a white man. And that is not natural. That is an animalistic mind. It is fearful and it is hateful. And I'm going to tell you the story of how I ingested that hate and how it made me sick. And I had to transmute that energy and heal myself. I know what their hate feels like. I know what their fear feels like. That's going to be the end of this video when I tell you what that is about, because it happened here in Florida. So after I healed this man and I was there and I helped his son go back to his mother, that he had taken the child away when he was a baby from the mother, right? Bullied her into getting that child. And he turned that child into the worst aspects of himself. And then he blamed the child and the mother who did not raise him for who the child became. He never took accountability and responsibility for what he did to that child. But I felt that because I didn't protect that child when I first met him, that it was my duty to go back to Jamaica and free him. When I had sex with this man, I really felt like I was sacrificing myself because I felt nothing for him. I felt absolutely nothing. I felt no pleasure. I literally had to masturbate to orgasm. That's what we've been doing, ladies. That's what the men do to us. They masturbate. Nobody's been taught true intimacy. Nobody's been taught what sex really is and how powerful it can be when two people come together and you create love. You make love. Nobody's making love anymore. Nobody knows how to because nobody knows what love is. Love is truth. If you cannot be truthful with yourself and you cannot be truthful with the one that you claim you love, then you're not in love. You're in lust. You're in infatuation. You are trying to heal something in yourself through someone else. Black woman, let me ask you something. Why do you think we always come out looking like their parent, their mother? Why do you think we're like, damn, I'm so tired of being his mother? It's because you are his motherfucking mother. You have been his mother. We have not made them stand up and be men and take responsibility and accountability and support their motherfucking family and themselves. We continue to give them money, our bodies, our minds, and our hearts, but they give us nothing in return. They stomp on us and tell us we're not good enough. We're too black, our hair is too motherfucking kinky. Something's always wrong with us, but they never see anything wrong with themselves. But first, we have to see the error in our ways and that we've created this monster that we call black men. They're not men, they're little boys. They have been castrated and their balls have been cut off. They do not even know how to protect us. They do not know how to love us. They do not know how to kiss us. And when we try to teach them how to make love to us, they still don't fucking listen. Most of us have been faking orgasms. Why would we do that? Why are we faking an orgasm? That's the motherfucking Big Bang. That's when we connect to source energy. And we have been faking that shit and allowing them to masturbate and get off on us while we get nothing in return. That's why we are on the bottom, my queens. I have an Aries moon when I turn 42. That's why I can speak up for myself. The Libra moon, honey, wants harmony and it does not like conflict. So when I chose a Virgo ascendant and I went to Jamaica, I set myself up to ascend. I set myself up for success. I set myself up to connect my God mind and to put Humpty Dumpty back together again, which is Osiris, my soul. I put myself back together again. I am king, bitch. I am king. And actually, let me not call y'all bitches because I said I was going to stop calling y'all bitches. We've been called that long enough. We've been female dogs in our minds long enough. It's time for us to stand up and take our rightful place and sit on our throne. The Black man, you can't get a throne without a queen. If you look at the ancient Egyptian statue of Aset and Haru, you will see that the queen is sitting on the throne and her son is sitting in her motherfucking lap. You cannot, niggas, you cannot get the throne without the queen. Till you put us back on our rightful place, you will have nothing. You cannot build a nation without the queen. You teach a woman, thank you, Baba Hamid, thank you. It's a train coming by, so I'm gonna give it a moment. I want y'all to hear me clear. This shirt, I love it. I do. It reminds me of my 80s and shit. It be, just sliding down, so y'all be fixing it. I got it in Cali. Lamert, big up Lamert Park. I'm gonna get my water while this is going on. Hold on. All right. So the train has passed by. So as I said, they can't get the throne without the female. Period, Pooh. Period, Pooh. You cannot. You cannot build a nation without the woman because the woman is the center of the nation. And you are the only ones, so-called Black men, who do not stand by your woman, who do not defend your woman. I was attacked by a rabid dog. And as you can see, I've done a lot of healing. It's actually almost completely healed because I'm a healer. And I did a call on IG, not because I needed you, but because I needed you to see how far you've fallen, so-called Black men, right? I got all this lip service. I stand by you. How can you stand by somebody unless you're physically standing by them? How? How, Sway? You cannot. Malcolm X said that the Black man needs to act like every other race does for their woman, and they're supposed to die and kill for their woman. Women, your women and your children, you're supposed to defend them, but you're too busy bullying them, calling us out of our names, right? You're too busy beating on some of us and your children, your seeds, but you will not put your hands on the quote-unquote enemy. You're a pussy. And that's not to disrespect our pussy because it's absolutely amazing. It's life-giving and life-changing. It's a motherfucking diamond, bitch. It's shaped like a diamond. It's a portal into the motherfucking universe. The melanated woman is God, motherfuckers. Respect us. Bow down, bitches. Right? So until you really, really, really get your God mind back, man, and understand that you're supposed to be a warrior. Look at the old Moors. They had motherfucking machete, like swords, on them, on their person. They were chopping off heads for anyone who disrespected their queen, because they had their God mind, they had their holy trinity, their ascendant, their soul, their moon sign, which is your emotions, the mother, and the sun sign, which represents your ego. Those three are your holy trinity, and they represent the God mind. If anybody studied the Kabbalah, you will know that the trinity is Ayin, which is A-I-N, Ayin Soph, which is A-I-N-S-O-P-H, which is Sophia, and Ayin Soph right? That represents the God mind, that holy trinity, which is Kether, Chakma, and Bina. I think that's the order of it. That's the Godhead, the triangle motherfuckers. When you put the rock up, when Jay-Z and Beyonce, they're saying they have a God mind. They probably don't even know that's what it is. They could know. I won't speak for them, but that's what this means. It's not satanic. It's your God motherfucking mind, your holy trinity. And most of you have been disconnected from it. You have a dog mind. You have an animal mind. You can also learn that in the Kabbalah. There are 4 levels of this bitch. 4 of them. The bottom one is the animal kingdom. The world has been operating as animals in the animal kingdom. Earth is ascending, bitch. This is Jupiter ascending in this motherfucker. Everything seems to be ascending, but humans. Hum means color. Colored. That's why they called you colored. You are the original human. There is none before you, and there is none after you. The melanated woman, we are the alpha and the motherfucking omega. We are the beginning and the end, niggas. The spirit world is divine feminine energy, niggas. It runs off the feminine energy. You cannot get in it without her. Otherwise, you are raping the universe. You are raping, just like you have been raping us, of our true selves. You let everybody else sit on our throne, including the Rastas who worship Ali Selassie, but you don't even respect Queen Nyabingi. You're the Nyabingi, you're named after Queen Nyabingi, yet I was around so many Rastas and I never heard you call on Queen Nyabingi. I never heard you call on the goddess Sekhmet, and I am both of those goddesses. I embody all of that energy because I know who I am. I was calling on the goddess within me. I was doing all this spiritual work. I was doing altars and all these things, and I didn't quite understand it, but I knew I was supposed to do it. Alter, it alters your mind, your subconscious mind, the right hemisphere of your brain. It is so you can start to reprogram yourselves, niggas, so you can truly become who you were supposed to come in the first place, so you can get the fuck off this rock. Earth didn't used to be like this. It didn't used to be dense. Earth fell. Earth has always been here. It is the heart. Just like the first organ that develops in a woman's body when she's pregnant is your heart. That's what Earth was. It was the first thing that developed in the solar system. It was the heart. And the heart fell because we started to get more and more caught up in ego. So we started to crystallize and become hard. We became hard-headed instead of the soft, transparent light that we were before. We fell, y'all. We fell from grace into hell. This is hell. It's not for me because my mind is heaven and I create heaven on earth. That's where you're supposed to be. We keep creating problems when we're supposed to realize we have always been the solution. You have always been the solution, but we're never taught how to solve any math equations. All this shit is math and science. Your whole energy makeup is math and motherfucking science. Your natal chart is math and science. Cardology, the tarot, math and science, and I understand it all. I can read people. I'm a psychic. I'm a motherfucking oracle. That's why people have to pay me to break down your energy. Absolutely. I can do a cosmic soul reading where I can tell you your natal chart, why you came here, and I can look at your solar return chart and tell you what your focus is supposed to be. Absolutely. I understand the houses on a whole nother level. I am the planets and the planets are me. I am not run by Mercury retrograde. I understand what Mercury represents. It represents my conscious mind. And I did work on my conscious mind in order to make it what it is. I'm real quick with it. My Mercury is in Sagittarius. I learn very, very quick. Just like Baba Hemmett, I never had to read a whole book. I would always get what I needed out of the book, and I would move on to the next one. I would have periods where I knew that I was supposed to get down in the books and learn. That's when I was the cocoon. I've always been a butterfly. That's when I was the cocoon because I was learning. I was gathering information, gathering light. Knowledge is a light, niggas. That's why I was knowledge butterfly. That's why I still am knowledge butterfly. I was creating magical entities. When I was calling myself these names, I was activating certain DNA in myself. Knowledge butterfly is a decoder. That energy can decode anything. I can decode movies and television shows. I look at it and I know exactly what I was watching Dynasty, the new one, and I was decoding that motherfucker. Dynasty, The Real Housewives. Psych. I'm literally doing psych evaluations on every single one of them. I see everything now. I see everything. I am no longer blind. I once was blind, but now I see, niggas. I know what everything means. I know what the Bible means. I know what the Quran means. I know what it all means because I have become all of those things. I am the living, breathing word. That's what you're all supposed to become. I have a Merkaba, y'all. If I tap into my heart, I feel it moving around me. I started feeling it before I turned 42. I did. But anywho's, your God mind, that's what you're supposed to be getting back into. And that's what my solar return helped me get. So I had scheduled for myself to fly back into America on January the 21st, but Spirit changed my flight to January the 22nd. I left out on November the 22nd. That's when I flew into Fort Lauderdale. 22 is the master builder. It's the emperor. I made myself a boss, right? I made myself a boss. And then I came back here on January the 22nd, 22, master builder energy. 1122 and 122. 11 is the master intuitive number, and 1 is me becoming the leader of my own self, right? Building my own self up. I understand all the codes. I can go to somebody's IG and look at the number of posts you have, the followers you have, and the number you're following, and I can break your energy down just by those numbers. I sure can. And I don't have to know you, but I can see who you are. Yes, I can do that because I am the Phoenix, niggas. So anywho's, I come back to Georgia. And I stay at an Airbnb because I don't want to stay with my blood family because they have been judging me from the beginning. They called me crazy. They called me Crazy Joe because I gave up all of my physical possessions because I understood none of that mattered. It is matter. It's material. It's material. Ma, Terra, Mother, Earth. And I'm not staying here. So why would I hold on to those things? They are not representative. They are not a representation of who I am. My soul is the only thing that truly exists. It is it. It is the beginning and the end. There is nothing but my soul. It has always been here and it will always be here. So they thought I was crazy because I quit a job, Bank of America, which is nothing but the belly of the beast, and it was killing me. And the first time that I lost weight and I went down to this, I was so devastated, y'all. I thought I was dying, and my family didn't give a shit. They didn't care. My daddy didn't care. He actually never cared. He told us that from the very beginning when he said he wanted sons. And anytime we brought it up, he made this ugly face. He doesn't know what love is, so I forgive him. But I will not lie about who he was to me and my 3 sisters. He never showed us love. He never showed our mother love. He treated her like he owned her. She couldn't wear certain things. He bought her a dress with the back low, but he told her she couldn't wear it because it was too revealing. But he bought it and it hung in that closet and it tortured her because she loved the way it fit. It fit her beautifully, but she never got to wear it because he said she couldn't wear it. He was her father, not her husband. And he bullied her until he bullied her and he fed her insecurities until she slowly committed suicide with prescription pills. Until one day he walked in and she was dead sitting in the bed with the TV still on. And he still to this day cannot sleep in that room because of his guilty conscience. And from what he saw, he sleeps in a room that used to be my room upstairs. Absolutely. I see him for who he truly is. My sisters don't. They keep defending him and calling him Superman. And they have lying hearts. Lying hearts. When you're supposed to have a lion heart. Lion. The Leo sign represents the ego. It is nothing to celebrate. But once you turn that cowardly lion and put it in its place where it's supposed to be in your heart, then you have all the bravery. Then you become the warrior. So anywho's, I couldn't stay with my family, so I paid to stay at an Airbnb. And I came back here with a bladder infection and a UTI, which turned into a yeast infection from the nastiness of the man that I had spread my legs to. But it was something that the holistic energy alchemist had to transmute, and I had to understand why I was going through that. I did deserve to go through that because I went back to something that I knew was not good for me, but I know why I did it, and I'm okay with it. And then when I tell you it took a long time for that thing to go, I had to really heal it. I came to Florida and I still had it. I actually came to Florida and got food poisoning, y'all, on top of that. So I was dealing with the UTI and a yeast infection, right? And then at my stomach, I couldn't eat anything. That's why these pounds continue to shed. I started losing weight in Jamaica. I started to lose those emotions that I had held on to and I had stored in my body. When you hold on to that fat, y'all, because y'all want to have fat asses and you want to have big boobs and you think that that makes you a woman, you're holding on to dead emotions that have been weighing you down, and that's killing you. I'm okay shedding this because now I don't deal with weight gain and weight loss. I fill my body in with love and watch her start to fill out with love. Oh, it's coming. It's coming. Wait till y'all see my beautiful body. I've already seen it. I already know what my body looks like. That's why I don't get caught up in the illusion. All of this is temporary. All of it. It can change just like that. That's how you know this is the illusion, because it's forever constantly changing. So anywho's, let me get back to it. So I leave that Airbnb, and my sister at the time that I had stayed with her family in Albany before I went to Jamaica, she drove back up and she came and got me. She took me to my father's house because I wanted to go get my new debit card because I had opened up a new online bank account. They didn't have it there, but guess what I did have? I had a check waiting for me. Got me a check. I got a check. Sheesh. So I had a check waiting for me. And that's not why I went over there, but I picked up my check. I sure did. And then I went over to my sister's house, the one that I stayed with before I went to Jamaica for that one night only. And I saw them, talked to them, told them I was going to Albany, and stayed up there for a little while, said my goodbyes. And then my sister at the time drove me down to Albany. And I got to see my musical family, the Hawkins, who helped me open up and sing. They helped me open up my throat chakra and not have fear. Actually, some background when I was with them. And I got called out. I was the first one got called out to sing and do a little solo piece because she let this beautiful queen let everybody that was in the background have a little part. And I was very nervous, and it came out nervous, but I fought through it and I did it. I did not hesitate when she told me to sing. No, it wasn't the best, but it was the best that I could do at that time. And I was very proud of myself for stepping outside of fear. That's all I wanted to do was start to shed the fear, because the ego builds up all this fear. That's what it does. It creates problems. Fear is a problem. You're supposed to let love be your solution. Live in love. The key to getting out of this is the heart, and it's love. That's all I'm saying. All right. So I go to Albany. I get there on Friday, and I wind up seeing that the energy has shifted and changed since I had been there. When I was there, it was only females in there. It was my sister's mother and her and me. It was a trinity. It was the God mind, working on creating the God mind. And when I got back, it was my sister's younger brother, her mother, and her. And the energy was so different, and I didn't like it. But what I did do is I said, hey, let's have a family movie night. So I fixed up the music room, and I had the chairs and the sofa set up and the projector, and I feng shuied it out with a goddess design experience. That's a new service I offer for people who have Airbnbs. I come out and I make them beautiful. I clean it from head to toe, and I design it, and I put love in it. That's what I do, y'all, because I'm love. That's why I can speak truth now, because I'm not afraid to tell people the truth, because I know that that's love. Anywho, so I tell my sister, yeah, the energy shifted. I'm going to leave on Monday. Me and her she had sent me a message when I was in Atlanta right before she came and got me and said, hey, are you ready to go to Miami? I said, hell motherfucking yeah, I am ready. We booked our flight. I think the next day I only spent $30 and like 34 cents. It was really cheap, one way. She and I flew down here on Tuesday because we got a rental car. I didn't depend on anybody to do it. We got a rental car and drove from Albany and dropped it off at the airport. So it was easy breezy. Got on the plane and came down to Miami. And like I said, came down here with a UTI and a bladder infection. And then I think it was the second place we stayed at is when I got food poisoning. It was in Hallandale Beach. We were staying at this old motel, and people had converted those into Airbnbs. And I'm sitting there just balled up in the fetal position. And the female that I called my sister act like it was a nuisance to go get things for me while I was in pain. She was like, sis, you need anything? But it would take her. She wouldn't get right up and go and get it. She would sit there on her phone and do stuff before she would finally go and get up. And then she would be gone for a long time. And she would never come back with what I asked for. She would say, oh, they didn't have it. I went to 3 stores. I didn't find it. Well, true love would have Googled, because you have a phone. And you would have Googled until you found exactly what I said I needed in order to help me feel better. I couldn't eat any food. My stomach felt so sick. I kept telling her I'm in my Scorpio energy. I knew I was in my Scorpio energy. Anywho's, but she could eat. That's when I saw the vampirism that was going on, because she all of a sudden had this appetite where she wanted to devour and eat everything. It was like greed. While I was suffering, she was so hungry. It was the strangest thing, but I started seeing things so clear. So I had to extend my time there because I didn't have the physical energy to leave to go to the next place. So she did not say, let me get your phone, sis, and because I was doing a booking. Let me get your phone, sis, and let me reach out to the person that runs this B&B and tell them that we need to ask, can we extend it? And so on and so forth. She was like, sis, I think you need to extend because I don't think you're ready to travel. So I had to muster up energy to get in that phone and to send this lady a message that y'all don't even know how much energy that took for me to do that. She didn't even care. So finally, when I got the energy, I think it was the next day after I had extended, we came back down to the Miami area. We took a Lyft, which I paid for, which I was okay doing, even though she had money constantly coming in and I'm living off of the money that I just had got, right? We drive back down. We stay at, I think it was called a Quality Inn. And it was perfect because it was some paperwork and they had a business center. So I was able to use their business center to take care of some business. But when I tell you that's when everything came to a head with my stomach, I finally had enough energy to do Reiki on myself. Mind you, she's Reiki certified. She's never offered to do it. And I've done Reiki on her multiple times. She never offered to give me that service. And I didn't ask because I felt like as a sister, I shouldn't have to ask you. You should see I'm in pain and say, I'm Reiki certified. Let me help my sister push out this energy. She didn't. So since I finally had the energy to do Reiki on myself, I did Reiki from head to toe on myself. And it hurt. I felt it moving stuff and it hurt. And I did sound healing. I had the headphones on and I was doing all of that at the same time. And I woke up, I don't even know what time because I didn't check it, but it was early in the AM. And I kept going back and forth to the bathroom. I had diarrhea so bad that I actually went to the bathroom on myself. They call it sharding. I'm not afraid to admit it. There's no shame in my game, y'all. I thought I was passing gas. And I had to run to the bathroom. I had to stop myself. So no more would come out and go to the bathroom. I had to throw those underwear away. And she was sleeping like a baby. She never heard me. I was in so much pain. And she never, not only did she not hear me, she didn't feel me. And women, we're supposed to feel each other, not just from the heart chakra, but from my sacral. She didn't feel me, y'all. My sacral and my solar plexus were going through it. Because I was releasing all of that shit from me. All of the waste and the thoughts and all the things I thought about myself. I was finally releasing those things. And it was painful. But you can't heal if you don't feel. And I felt every bit of that. When we finally left that that Quality Inn, I think we might have been there 2 or 3 days. When we finally left, I started feeling so much better. And she could tell. And I didn't feel happiness. I didn't feel her excitement. Actually, when I was optimistic and I was ready for the next spot, because this was going to be the fourth spot we stayed in, she kept finding all these places that were so expensive. And I was like, why would we spend that much money, sis? Why would I'm into investing into myself. That's not an investment when we need to be spending $90 a night or $100 a night on an Airbnb. That makes no sense. I was finding Airbnbs for like 20 to maybe no more than like 40 some dollars a night. So I found one for, this was the third spot we were going to, excuse me. The third spot we were going to. And the spot that I found was in Miami Beach. It was on the 14th floor and it was beautiful. We walk right out. There was a pool, and we walked right out to the Miami Beach. We were right there on the beach, and we could only stay for one night only. One night only. We stayed for one night only. We had a beautiful view, and I took pictures, and I'll share all of that. And she loved it. She loved it. It was 2 beds. I took the bed that was right there next to the beautiful window, and she took the one that was by the TV that had a partition. She sure did, because I finally got to be treated like a queen. There were many times when she would take the bed because she was paying for it. She would take the bed, and I would sleep on the sofa. She treated me like the helping the maid, and I'm not afraid to say that. She thought she was better than me because her skin was lighter. It's like she's light skinned, and my skin is dark skinned. But that I don't fault her, and I forgive her. That's her programming that she has to work on. We had this conversation. I told her exactly the truth. I spoke the truth, and that's coming up soon. So anywho's, we leave Miami Beach, and then I find a spot that is only $40 a night. It's a 420 B&B, right? This is the first place we stayed at was a 420 B&B, and it was horrible. It was nasty. It smelled, and the people were not, they just were like what you would call a pothead. They were not utilizing weed to ascend. They were utilizing it as a coping mechanism. That's all that was. So this 420 B&B we had to ourselves. It was a small little studio, and I loved it from when I saw the pictures because it had mural and artwork on all of the walls, and it looked like it was telling my life story. It had this small leprechaun-looking man with locks who was playing these bongos, and he had a hat on that had the Jamaican flag. I was like, wow. Then they had this beautiful dark-skinned melanated woman, and she was dancing, and she had this big old hat on that looked like a crown, like a beanie, and it had red, yellow, and green, which is the colors of Rasta. Ra-star, light star. That's what Rasta is. You're a light star, and you don't even know it. Anywho's, and then in the center, because the man was on the left and the woman was on the right, there was a door. And I took that as that was my doorway, that I can choose and create whatever I wanted in my king and whatever I wanted in my reality, because it is mine now to create, because I have my right mind. She didn't like it because the neighborhood was in Little Haiti, and people, the melanated people there are sick in their minds, so they trash everything just like we do everything when we have a dog mind. We're sick, mentally sick. We have PTSD. We have been victimized and brutalized, so I understand it. I get it, and I have compassion for you, but I will not lie to you and tell you that it's okay to hold on to that mind. You have to transmute it. You have to let that go. But anywho's, I saw the potential in that space, and I saw the potential in the area. And that's where our Goddess Design Experience was born, which is only a child under my parent company, not company, my parent service, Heal Soul, because I don't do companies and corporations, and I do not do busyness, which y'all call business. I'm not a busyness, because that keeps you distracted. I offer services to people to help them heal. Even a Goddess Design Experience is a healing experience, because I heal spaces and I make them better. Any space I go into, I upgrade the energy. I just do. All right. So I get in that space and I start talking to my mother, because we got in that space right before the 12th anniversary of my mother's transition. My mother transitioned on February the 12th, 2009. And on February the 12th, 2021, I spent the whole day talking to my mother. I heard her in my ear. I felt her energy. She was talking to me. She was telling me the truth about the female that was with me, how she just will sit there and let me do all the cleaning, and she just won't do anything. Mind you, she had just told me that she needed to leave her mother's home because she was doing all the cleaning, and she was doing all the stuff that I used to do in cooking, and nobody cared and nobody respected it. But that's how you treat me, sis. That's how you treat me. So anywho's, I started cleaning out that space that we were in Little Haiti, and I took everything apart. I took the AC unit apart. It was nasty. I have pictures of that. I cleaned the stove. It had mouse and rat droppings or whatever. I cleaned that. I got these gloves. I found a Family Dollar, and I bought cleaning supplies. Actually, I made my own cleaning supplies out of lemon juice and baking soda and some other things. I did tea tree oil at first, and then I did lemon juice, because I like the smell of the lemon juice better than the tea tree oil. It was hers anyway. And like I said, I didn't care for the smell. So I was just cleaning from top to bottom, cleaned the bathroom, did everything. Then I started purchasing little accents. I started investing in myself. So I started purchasing things, and I have the pictures of that, and I'll share that with you. I'll share it in my story because I don't want to put those things. I don't. Hold on. It started spinning. I didn't want it to cut off. I didn't want to put those things. I don't want to put it as post on my page because the post on my IG will be saved to celebrate my queens and to bring my queens, because that's my purpose for the queens, not for these so-called kings. They got that. It's somebody else for them. My purpose has always been for the queens. My natal chart shows that. It shows that, and my placement shows that I'm supposed to be here for y'all. Anywho's, I asked her, I said, hey sis, I'm still trying to include her because I see it. I see the potential in myself now. I don't do partnerships. I do collaborations. I see us collabing and doing this together. And she got mad at me and told me, my spirit don't tell me that yet. I don't see it. I said, wow, okay. At first, it wasn't called a goddess design experience. It was just, I think it was the design experience or something. The goddess part hadn't been given to me yet. And then it became a goddess design experience. And I told her, I said, you know what? You're right. I shouldn't be including you in something that was given to me. You go ahead and do you, sis, and I will do me. You don't have to help me clean. I will do all of this by myself. I will invest my own funds into it. And that's exactly what I did. So as I started to clean out that space, I noticed, and I started to feel better, I noticed she started to feel sick. She started to feel sick. And it was because I was no longer allowing her to feed off of my light. I was no longer allowing her to be a parasite and a vampire to me anymore. Right? Don't want to give me credit for things, really. Even if you give me credit for things, it's not in a way where I feel like it's coming from the heart, right? So I think it was on Sunday or Monday. Tuesday is when she left, so it might have been Monday or Moon Day. I tell her the truth about, I do a full-out pedicure for myself. I do a pedicure and a manicure. I took the nail polish off because I don't like it on my fingers, and I do a lot of cooking, so I don't want that on there, my toes. And me and her could have been doing that together. She sat on the bed in her phone. The day before, she's the one that put me onto Dynasty. The day before, I put my phone down and I had a moment with my sister, or me and her were watching stuff, and I was over there psychoanalyzing Dynasty and saying, this person represents the ego. This person represents this, right? And so on Monday, after I did all my pedicure and stuff like that, I started to tell her about herself. I was her father. And I said, basically, how she saw me and how she had treated me. I told her, you saw me as the help. You thought your lighter skin made you better than me. I said, you never really saw me as a sister. I said, you treated me like I was a charity case and like you were doing something for me. Yet I cooked every single meal when we were on our road trip from South Carolina to California. I cooked everything. I left every space clean, and every review we got from Airbnb was how clean everything was left. But it was because of me, not because of her. She didn't clean. She didn't think she had to. Her focus was music. She was supposed to focus on herself and on men. Everybody focus on these men who don't even want you. But you had somebody who really was giving you real love, and you just put her to the side. She didn't matter. You didn't really see real love because you don't know what love is. So I forgive her and I love her in spite of herself, but I had to detach from her and let her go. She has to go on her healing mission on her own now because I've given her the tools to start it. And I send her nothing but love and healing. And I wish nothing but the best for her still. Absolutely. So on Tuesday, because I hadn't slept, y'all, in like 3 days, I think the Monday night, I probably slept for an hour or two. And I got up, it was 4 something in the AM. And she got up to go use the bathroom because like I said, she wasn't feeling well. She sat on the bed. Hold on, before she sat on the bed, y'all, the day before that, on that Monday, I had cleaned the chair, which the chair looked like a throne. I loved the color, and I had set up and I had feng shui and organized everything. I cleaned the chair with soap and water and with the spray I had created. and I had let the cushion dry and I put it back together. Do you know she did no cleaning, but she was the first person after I had put a pretty sunflower and I had made it look good. She sat in that chair on that throne. She sat on my throne and she had done no cleaning. And I told her that. I said, so what made you think it was okay to sit somewhere and you did no cleaning? Why do you think you should have sat there before me? She couldn't even answer me. I said, but you know what? It's okay. Go ahead and sit there. Because I understand spiritually why you need to sit there. Because she was sitting next to where the moon had been drawn on the wall instead of where the sun was. Because she needed to deal with her emotions. She needed that mothering. So I started being her mother and not her sister anymore. Because, bitch, now I'm the mama. I'm the mama. I'm the mama. So I told her about herself, and I told her that was disrespectful to all the work that I put in. So on Tuesday, after I didn't get but like an hour or so or 2 hours of sleep, and I saw she was up, I started talking to her again, and she got angry. And she said, you know what? I listened to you enough. Because Sunday I was her father. Yes, it was Sunday I was her father, and Monday I was her mother. And Monday I got in her ass like a mama's supposed to. A mama supposed to tell you the truth about yourself and not tell you all the things you want to hear and big up your ego. The mama is supposed to tell you the truth in love, though, because the truth is love. And the truth shall set you free. So on Tuesday, I told her she had to leave at 4 a.m. I said, and it was so funny because as I was sitting there, I was going to let her stay there until the sun came up. But she came at me and told me I couldn't tell her nothing and yada, yada, yada. I had already told her her blonde hair had represented the ego, the Leo. It was her Leo energy because she has a Leo sun that was trying to come out and it was trying to protect her and tell her that she was okay and everything she was doing was right. And she was always one of the ones who didn't take accountability and responsibility. It was always everybody else. That's Leo and the ego. The ego can never see its own fault. I have been taking accountability for me. That's what all this work has been. And I told her that. So I told her, I politely said, you got to go. You have got to leave because you have no respect for me, just like you have no respect for your physical earth mother. You talk about all these horrible things about her, and you are a mother yourself, and you don't see fault in yourself. You got to go. So she got her stuff, left out, sat on the curb, and waited for her Uber to come and pick her up. And I was good with that. I was okay with that. Because a real mother doesn't care if their child hates them. And I told her, I said, I don't care if you hate me right now, because eventually you'll see that I was coming from a place of love, right? So she left. That Tuesday was the same day that I got attacked by a dog. That story I told on my IG. I went outside and the sun was out at the time and I was grounding and releasing. And then I just started preaching and teaching my melanated queens that they're of their divinity and their royalty. And I was telling them who they truly are and telling them to take that shit, take them rugs out your head. Take that shit off your hair. Take all that makeup off. Just be your natural self and then see if you start to feel better. Start to love yourself for the way you look without anything else on, without putting on any airs. I said, you don't need to look like a WIGHT woman because they come from the caves. We civilized them. We are the original woman. I talked about the woman who's still living in a trailer, a WIGHT woman who told me to get away from her dogs because I was making them bark. And I talked about how disrespectful she talked to me and how rude that was and how she had no reason to come at me like that. And she was still walking around. She went to go take a bath. I started to make it rain, y'all. I made it rain. It was pouring down and I told him I was going to continue to make it rain because it was dirty and filthy over there. I said, all of y'all are nasty and filthy and you're dirty and this place needs to be cleansed. Y'all are nasty. They didn't want to hear the truth. They can't handle the truth. As I continued to talk, it started to pour down more and more and I'm walking in the rain, just letting it pour down on me. I was being baptized and cleansed, y'all. I had tapped into my Christos energy, your Christ. We are the Christ. You are the Christ. But you can't be that until you walk in your own truth and you get your mind back. You got to take your matrix back. The matrix is your mind. You allow other people to create it. Now you have to break down those constructs and you have to become it. Right? So anywho, the lady, after she takes her shower, she walks out of unit 10 because I'm staying in unit 11, the master number 11, master intuition. And she gets in my face, no mask on. She's like this in my face. And she's putting her hand in my face. I never did anything. Her hand is all in my face. Boom, 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 boom. A black man, he's a little boy. She looks old and wrinkly. She's short. He's standing on her right side. And both of them are yelling at me. Shut up and go inside. Shut up and go back in there. Trying to silence me. You still think I'm a little girl and you can talk to me any kind of way. You think you're my master. You're only the master of that little boy that's falling behind you. You don't control me. And I stood there, tall, in my royalty stance. And when she put her hand, when she was about to touch my face, I went back like the Matrix, really far. And then I came back up. She hated that. That's what she called me. A nigger and a monkey. And I smiled and she hated it because, bitch, I know who the monkey is. I know who the Neanderthal is. Scientific fact proves that. Go read some books, bitch. Go learn your true history. Go read Dirt, bitch. It's a very expensive book, but you can find it free online. I did, and I read most of it. I know where you came from. I know how dirty you are. I know the Moors civilized you. I know the Moors built bathhouses and taught you how to bathe, bitch, because y'all was so dirty you were defecating on the streets. I know you had boils on your body and your quote unquote queens were sucking the pus out of boils on other people because they thought it was divine. They didn't bathe. Your queen bathed once a month, had lice and fleas. Fleas infested. They were wearing those wigs that they were wearing, George Washington in them, because they were so filthy and nasty that their heads were full of lice and fleas. Dog shit. Dog mind. I know who you are. You can't put up a front. I will not lie. I'm not afraid of you. I speak truth. I am the truth and I'm love and I'm light. I didn't come here for y'all. I came here for my queens. So you can walk in your true your divinity, walk in your royalty and claim your birthright back. That's what I came here for. To save myself so I can help you save yourselves. So anywho's, she takes her dirty clothes after she calls me a nigger. Oh, before she takes her dirty clothes and before she calls me a nigger and a monkey, I asked her slave mind, her dog-minded man, so you're not going to defend me? He says, why would I defend you? I said, oh, thank you. You show me exactly who you are. Then she calls me a nigger and a monkey, which tells you what she really thinks about him. She thinks of him as a nigger and a monkey, but you're fucking that bitch. And when you lay down with a dog, you are bound to catch fleas. He has fleas, but I still love him. However, I will not defend him, and he will go down with her because she's the walking dead, just like the rest of these motherfuckers around here, the walking dead. So after she calls me a nigger and a monkey, she takes her dirty stuff and she throws it on me. I still haven't touched this bitch. I haven't said shit to this bitch because I've already said what I needed to say. So one of the things she threw on me, it fell on the AC unit. I took it and I threw it on the ground. And that's when she sucker punches me and starts to beat me like the dog she is. And it's wet on the ground. I fall on my left side because your right side represents your masculine energy. My divine masculine is protecting my divine feminine. I only had a bump right here because that was when I fell on the ground. But this is still a little bit swollen. This, you can see the darkness, but I already created a turmeric and lemon juice and some other stuff I'm going to put in it, some oils. And so this is going to deal with the discoloration. I created my own eye drops and I'm using vitamin E oil. So all of this is really just simple. It's so simple and it's gone, right? However, had I not had my emotions in check, that could have been another traumatic event. But guess what happened when this bitch was beating me in the head? Because she was pulling my crown and beating me in the top of my head, beating me all over on my right side. I had to pull her hands off my head. I didn't black out, y'all. I actually went what some people would call unconscious, right, for a minute. And instead of seeing darkness, I saw light. Before I saw light, I saw water flash. I got baptized, a spiritual baptism. And then I saw the light. And that's when I came back to. And then that's when she finally decided that she didn't have any more energy to keep beating on me. I jumped up because hadn't put service on my phone yet. I walked down to unit 2, the number 2 energy, which is, I'm standing on 11, which is also 2, but it's the master number. So there's a melanated woman. I asked her, can I use her phone to call 911? I'm not calling 911 because I think the police is going to do anything, y'all. I'm calling 911 because my spirit told me I was supposed to do it. So the lady calls 911, passes me her iPhone. I start telling the operator on 911 what happened. She asked me who attacked me. I'm telling her that it was a white woman, WIGHT, and she had her black man with her. They say, can you give me the description of the man? They asked me like 2 or 3 times. I said, well, he's not the one that put his hands on me. It was the white woman. But I'll give you a description of her. She said, the operator is a female. She says, okay. So I give her a description of the woman. She tells me the police will be on their way and just to wait. Police arrive like not even 5 minutes later. One police car comes and he has a black skin on. And I mean it. He has a black skin on, but his mind, of course, because he's a policy officer. He's an enforcer. He's an overseer. Just like in slavery times, he's an overseer. So he comes and he's standing outside. This cut, you can see the cut right here was bleeding. I feel the blood running down. Do you know what he tells me? You need to go and put a mask on. I said, well, I can do that. Still comply, not making a big deal about it. I say, I will put one on, but I can feel the blood running. Let me go clean this first. So I go and clean the blood that's running down. I took pictures of my face or what it looked like at the beginning stage. And then I go put the mask on and I come back outside. And he's talking to me with his mask on, even though I'm outside. So why do I have to put a mask on? And he started asking me what happened. He doesn't allow me to finish because another police car pulls up and he starts talking to them. This is another one with black skin. The first one, I didn't see his name badge. I wasn't supposed to. But guess what the second one's name was? Baptiste, like John the Baptist. When I tell y'all, I had a baptism, y'all. For real, a spiritual one. So they decided to come and step into the unit 11, which I would have preferred them not to because that energy was, I had cleaned it out. So they're standing there. Nobody's taking any notes. Nobody's writing anything down, asking me what happened. I tell them, and I tell them that she attacked me. I tell them I never put my hands on them. They can clearly see that nothing happened to her. She has no scratches. She has nothing, no defensive wounds. I didn't touch her at all because I knew I didn't have to physically touch her. I knew the bitch was dead as soon as she started talking to me. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it, y'all. Right? So after they supposedly take my statement again, they didn't write anything down. Officer Baptiste and the other officer go out and they start talking to everybody else. I'm sitting on my throne and I have my head down because I have a bit of a headache, right? Bit of a head pain, and that's going to happen when you've been beat in the head. So, which she could have caused brain damage, but nobody cared. But I'm good because she didn't cause shit. She couldn't do shit. All of that was still divine. They go during their talking. I hear them speaking to her and she's speaking in Spanish because she don't want me to understand what she's saying to them. She's giving her statement in Spanish. And I'm going to tell you the joke in that from what she did the next day and how I heard her speaking. So after the officers finishing talking to the eyewitnesses, eyewitness, none of them have an eye to see. They only see them with the illusion and with their programming, right? So they come back in and they said, well, we've spoken to her and we've spoken to the witnesses. They asked me, are you on any narcotics? I said, well, I had some weed, smoked some weed when I first came in, but that's been like 3 days ago. So I'm very sober. They said, no, we're asking narcotics. I said, no, you can actually check. I actually gave them permission to check my everything and see that there is no narcotics here. They declined. They said, well, we're going to tell you what's going to happen. We're not going to arrest her because the eyewitnesses say that I was the aggressor, that I was the one that was in her face, that I approached her. Do you not see the programming of the white being innocent and pure, even though it's the one that's been brutalizing Black bodies for centuries? But the Black woman, the dark woman, is the aggressor just because of my skin, y'all. I'm automatically guilty and she's automatically innocent. Officer Baptiste tells me, you just gonna have that, basically, you just got a beat down. That's what he told me. But I thought that we're all supposed to have self-control and keep our hands to ourselves. Don't we teach children that? Don't we teach kindergartners and pre-K? Don't we teach them to keep your hands to yourself? But you're telling me this grown-ass woman who got to be around in her 40s, that she can have no self-control. It's okay for her to put her hands on somebody. You're telling me I deserved it because that I deserved a hate crime. It was a hate crime as soon as she called me a nigger and a monkey. And you did nothing, but it's okay because I'm going to take care and handle that like I always do. My spirit team got me and they already told me how to handle this. So I still come out on top. And this will be healed. It's actually already healed. You're just seeing the last end results of it. So after that, of course, you know, if you follow me on IG, you see that I did a video, a call to my kings, asking them to come down to Miami to defend a queen. And none of them did it. They paid lip service, told me they stood by me. Everybody, I stand with you. I'm so sorry that happened. But not one person came down. Not one person said, I got you, sis. And I'm going to stand there. And we're going to make sure that that woman, that animal pays for what they did to you. Not one. You paid lip service. You were making yourself feel better. You never cared. You don't care about a Black woman. Malcolm X said that the Black woman is the most neglected woman in America. The person, he didn't say woman, most neglected person. Yet we continue to protest and fight when a Black man get killed. Breonna Taylor, nobody gave a fuck about her until after George Floyd had a knee on his neck and was crying out for mama. Black men, you want to cry out for mama when you being brutalized. But where the fuck are you when we are being brutalized? I survived it. That's a blessing. Just because I physically survived it, that could have been traumatic to me. And none of you came down here and gave a shit about me enough to stand by a queen and protect me and actually stand in front and say, you got to come through me to get to her again. None of you. You are weak-minded. You have been castrated. Your balls have been cut off. You can't even call yourself a man. Malcolm X said that. I posted a video. Watch it on my IG. Watch it. I posted 2 videos. And he spoke truth. You know what the X stands for in Malcolm X? It stands for X-Men. It stands for the X chromosome, the female energy, the mother, your mitochondrial DNA. Till you respect that shit, you will never win. You will never prosper. You cannot have anything until your woman is put in her rightful place because we've been on the bottom. So we have to be put back in our rightful place in order for you to be done, in order for the same to be done for you, Black man. So anywho's, after the incident, I was renting the Airbnb from a Black man, and I sent him a nice, nasty email, actually messaged an Airbnb telling him that I was going to hold him responsible because it happened on his property and so on and so forth. Come to find out, of course, he don't own it. He's banging on the door at 7:34 a.m. because I sent it at like 11:11. I think is when I sent the message to him. Boom, 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 boom. Police knocking. And it's 10:10 right now on the clock. He's banging on the door. I was still sleeping, y'all. That was the first time I had a good night's sleep because like I said, I had been up. And I said, hold on. I'm not even dressed. So I put on my little wrap and I put on my top and I opened the door. And he immediately, what is this message you sent me? He sees my eye, right? And at this time, my eye still had swelling to it, but it wasn't completely swollen shut no more because I had done the painful work of molding it and getting the fluids out of it, right? He's like, what is this message you sent me? La, 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 you're going to sue me? I'm a black man I'm a black businessman. I'm just trying to build on my business. And you want to take that away from me? That's how you're talking to him. I said, hold your horses. He said, I didn't even know what happened to you. You never came to me. I said, I honestly thought you would have known. All of these people who were around that saw what happened, and none of them. And I said, I even heard you the next day talking to the people that brutalized me, including the woman that brutalized me. Do you know she started to try to talk like a black woman, like what they call ghetto? That's how she was talking, y'all, the day after she put her hands on me, put her paws on me. I won't even call them hands, when she put her paws on me because she's a dog. So anywho's, I start to explain to him what happened. Do you know he kept cutting me off, and I kept telling him, could you just let me finish and I will continue? He's like acting like he's so, oh man, I can't believe she did that to you. I can't believe all this fake outrage, telling me how she's been a problem in this neighborhood and everybody knows it. Everybody knows that she starts shit. Well, everybody knows she starts shit. Why did they say that I was the villain? That I was the one who created it? I was the aggressor. They all said I was the aggressor. And you're telling me that all these people know that she does this shit all the time. That ain't what they told the police. But you're telling me a different story, right? So finally I said, you know what? When I saw he has nothing to sue for, he has nothing. He's literally over here trying to make something out of himself. He's telling me he's an artist because his father's a reggae artist. I'm not sure what reggae artist he is. I never asked, nor do I care, because that's his father's business. And he felt the need to tell me that because he thought that was going to make him look a certain way, right? Or make me look at him in a better light. No. So after we had the conversation, I said, oh, okay, well, I know checkout is at 10, so I'll be ready. He said, no, it's okay. You have till 11. Because he had somebody else. Instead of saying, you know what, you went through all that, you can stay here for a few nights without having to pay me anything. Because that is my apology for this happening at my place. Because you were my guest and you paid me and you should have been safe and you were not safe. I'll give you to 11. So I said, you know what, fine. I started getting my stuff together. I showed him some of the stuff that a Goddess Design Experience had done. He saw the flowers that I had purchased and put there, that I had invested in. He saw just a little bit. I said, but I'm very excited for you to see the rest of what I did, because I knew that he was just only a stepping stone to where I was going. So it didn't matter. I politely go start showering. I start doing other things. And then after I get myself dressed, I do a walkthrough. I took pictures and I do a video walkthrough showing everything that I did to elevate that space and make it look even better, smell better. I reach out to my sister, my oldest sister, because she said she was going to help me, and I asked her for a little bit of cash so that I can go ahead and go to the next spot, because I was waiting on some money to deposit, still waiting on some money to deposit, but it's okay. I'm not waiting. I am patient because I know when it hits, abundance and rainfalls of money, I'm always good. And I give thanks and gratitude for her. She sent it with no delay. I go ahead and book an Airbnb to go stay right next to the beach. It's a townhouse. And I schedule a lift. For like $8 and some change, I think it was $8.92, I could upgrade to a luxury vehicle. And my spirit said, do it. Because you need to start operating in the energy that you are good and that you are royalty. So I did it. So I didn't stay to 11. I didn't need to stay. I sent him an email message letting him know that I would not be able to put the key back in the lockbox, but I would sit it on the table and just close the door. And that's exactly what I did. I got so a beautiful black Tahoe pulls up, and one of the men who was there, because it was his baby's mother, the one that put her paws on me. He was there because he was working on his vehicle, and there was a melanated man sitting on a chair. And the melanated man was like, that car's for you? I was like, yes, I'm a queen. Why would I not leave out here in style? And the man and I use that loosely, whose baby mother put his hands on me, just smirked. A beautiful Haitian king comes out, and he grabs my stuff and he puts it in the Tahoe for me. And he's speaking Creole to the other man, because the other melanated man that was sitting in the chair is also Haitian. So they're speaking Creole. And I told him to talk. It sounds beautiful. I loved hearing it, right? Then I get into the Tahoe. No, as I'm talking, the man's like, on the king that's driving the lift, he asked me, where am I going? I tell him Surfside, Florida, because it's time for me to go to the beach. I deserve it. And I get into that Tahoe and drive off into the sunset. And then I have an amazing conversation with this Haitian man. And we talk about the sickness and disease of the Haitian people, how they hate themselves too. Just like every other melanated person on this planet hates themselves and has been made to hate themselves. We talk about all of that. He tells me about how the white WIGHT people tried to purchase his house and lowball him because he bought the house for $80,000 and now it's worth like maybe $400,000. It's worth way more than what he bought it for. And he was like, I'm not selling to them because I know exactly what they're trying to do. And we just kept talking and talking and talking. And at the end of the conversation, he was like, you are very intelligent and I love you. And I'm sorry that that happened to you. He told me, welcome to Florida. He was the first one that welcomed me to Florida. So I big up, he redeemed Haitian people for me because the ones that I met had been so rude, so hateful, so nasty and so rude. But he was so different and I thank him for that. He let me out and he saw the area I was staying in and he was like, he saw the upgrade supposedly. I went to the park because my check-in wasn't for long. So I just dragged my luggage and my groceries. And I found this magical garden called, I think it's North Ocean Park or something like that. And the beach is right behind it. The trees are twisted trees, which means it's a magnetic vortex over there. So I was talking and the rain came a little bit, abundance drops on me. And I was just talking to the trees and to nature and just really being happy out there until it was close to time to check in. So I go back to the house when it's time to check in and I knock on the door and a little boy opens the door. A little white Latino boy opens the door. And I'm like, what's going on? Like, the place is supposed to be ready at 3. He's telling me I have to wait outside. And I'm like, I'm not trying to go in there because I don't even know who you are, little boy. Why would I try to go in the house? So I was like, okay, I need to go somewhere with Wi-Fi because, again, there's no service on my phone. And the service I was using was my SISTAR that is no longer with me. So I decide to leave my luggage and only take my little wristlet that has my debit cards and things in it and my phone. And I said, I'm going to go someplace where I can get Wi-Fi and get some water because I wanted water. And I start walking. I walk maybe 10 blocks before I finally get to where there are restaurants and things. And I go into a CVS and I get some water and I saw a cricket. And I was like, oh, it's actually time for me to put service on my phone. I'm not supposed to look for Wi-Fi. So I'll go to get water and then I go to Cricket and I go get service on my phone. After I get the service on my phone, I see that the lady for the Airbnb I'm supposed to stay at has canceled me. And I feel like she canceled me when she saw that I was a Black woman. That's just what my feeling gave me. She gave me a last minute cancellation. It was an hour and she canceled an hour and a half before I was supposed to check in, right? Then when I go to look for a new Airbnb, I see that the one that she canceled me is still on there saying that it's available now. So why did you say you couldn't accommodate me? I didn't even care, y'all. I finally got some Cuban food. I walked and found a Cuban restaurant, authentic Cuban food, and I was so excited. I went and I sat down and I started looking at the menu and I saw there was nothing that was for me because I'm not eating meat right now. My body told me that I don't need that right now, that my focus needs to be just on clean eating because I'm building my body up with love. I'm filling it in with love and she's going to fill out with the curves of love, right? So the waitress I get is a white Latina and she has this cute haircut. Her hair is black and I tell her how much I love it. And I tell her, I say, I don't see anything I can eat on here because everything is meat. She tells me the things I can order. She's very sweet and kind. And I said, okay, let me look at this for a moment and then I'll get back to you. She comes back, takes my order, and I tell her when she takes my order, I said, I want to say it in Espanol because I'm working on my Espanol. So I start saying everything on the menu in Espanol. And the one thing I think it was plátanos, which is plantain, I said that incorrectly. And so she corrected me and told me the right way to say it. And I thanked her for it. And then she told me my Espanol was muy bien. I said, gracias, you know? I get my food, and as I'm eating it, it makes me dance, makes me shimmy. So I do a shimmy, and one of the other women that's there, she starts smiling, and she did a little shimmy. And I said, I see you, mama, get it. I ate my food, and I had an amazing time. I called my nephew because my niece had been worried about him. Actually, I called my chef-you first, who's not my blood nephew. I call him chef-you because he's a chef. And I asked him, had he spoken to my nephew? He said, yes, he had just spoken to him today. He was fine. So I told him that was my number to lock it in. My face is still sore, so I'm just doing a little massage to get the pain out. So then I called my nephew, the one who my niece was worried about. And he hadn't called me. He hadn't reached out to me at all, but he saw the IG video. Never inboxed me, never. So and this is the one that I had been there for and did spiritual work with him and was trying to help him release the emotions of abandonment since his mother left him, right? I was really there for him. Love, nothing but love. And he didn't call to check on. He called me Mama TT, but you never called to check on Mama TT. Where's the love, y'all? That's a song called Where's the Love? Where is it? Do you know he starts to ask me, because he said, he asked me what happened. I said, did you not watch my IG? Yeah, but what happened before she put your hands on you? So basically you asked me, what the fuck did I do for this woman to attack me? Oh, I said, you know what? I'm going to talk to you later. I haven't called him back and he hasn't called me. I'm almost about to cry, y'all. What the fuck is wrong with you? Men. My other nephew, I'm sorry that happened to you, but I can't come down there. He had invited himself to Miami. He told me he was coming. The other one, I had invited him to Miami before he went back to work. He didn't come. So if just one of you would have been here, do you know that would have never happened to me? And I told him that. I told the other one that had you come, that wouldn't have happened. None of this would have happened, but it's all good. Go ahead and keep working for the money. Keep sacrificing real love for the money. Keep sacrificing your dreams for the money and see how far you get in life. See how happy you truly are, because happiness comes from your heart. And if you're not living in your heart and your truth, if you're not following your dreams, letting your soul be your God, then guess what? You are never going to be happy. So anywho's, I book another place. It's what they call a hostel. It's super cheap, like I think $18 a night. So you get a bunk bed, and I had bunk number 9, the number of transformation, the number of endings and new beginnings, the number of divinity, the number of the universe, y'all. The spiral, like our hair. Spirals like the galaxy. That's why you're supposed to let it be. Let it be. Let it be free. Anywho's, I booked that. I eat my Cuban food, and I fully enjoy every bite of it. It's so delicious. I know I had tamales. I had moros, which is black beans and rice. And I had some fried sweet plantain. And it was so good. And I packed it up and I took some for later so I could eat. I schedule a Lyft, and I go back to go get my stuff because I let it sit there for a good 4 hours, 5 hours. And it was still on the side of that house for the Airbnb I was supposed to stay at. I get my stuff and I wait on the Lyft. The Lyft comes and gets me, and it takes me from the Miami Beach area back over to the other side of the bridge. And that's where the hostel was. I get in the hostel, and I was like, oh shit, the password is conscious love. Wow. This is where I'm supposed to be. So I get there and I immediately meet some cool people that start telling me their story. That's what I like about hostels. You learn a lot about people. And that experience actually wound up turning out to be so amazing because I met some beautiful queens. And the last night I was there, we had a movie night. We listened to music. We had good conversations, and we just had real good black ass fun. Because when I first got there, the white people were just doing a whole bunch of talking about being conscious and light workers and all that new age bullshit. and I wasn't participating in it. I wanted no parts in it. I started working on my logo, and I created a logo for a goddess design experience. I just started working on my services and started investing in myself. I kept investing in myself. I didn't have time for that other stuff because all that was an ego show. Now, I'm not part of ego shows. I don't have any fucks to give for an ego show. One of the queens even told me she thought I was unapproachable. She's like, "Oh, she's unapproachable." That's what they think about all Black women. If we're not smiling and giving them that fakeness all the time, if we're not giving them the happy, joy face, then we're unapproachable. And I was okay with that. I said, well, that's my cancerous sin. It withdraws and it goes into the darkness. And I said, I do that when I see that people aren't being real. I don't like fake stuff. So we had the amazing conversation. They tell me their Holy Trinity, and I tell them about their energy. And she's like, "Girl, don't you be reading me?" I said, "Yep, that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm doing a real reading." And I give her a reading, and I give the other queen, who's her best friend, a reading. And it's amazing. She starts showing me her crystals, and I tell her that's exactly what she needs. And then the other queen tells me the crystals that she has, and I said, that's exactly what you need. Y'all need to start working with them. I tell them how to cleanse them. I tell them to put them on their pillow and start doing some real work on themselves. And then from there, we just, because I bought a bottle of wine, and everybody, and I just drank a little bit because I'm not drinking right now. And we just shared in a beautiful experience. And there was a king there. And he's amazing. He cooks. He has 4 beautiful daughters, and he loves all 4 of his daughters. He loves his daughters. He really does, right? He understands the blessing in daughters. My father never understood that. He turned his daughters into little boys. And I'm about to get into that because I'm wrapping up, y'all. I'm gonna keep talking. I leave the space at 11, so I'm wrapping up. So anywho's, we have a beautiful night. We listen to music. I'm dancing. I'm trying to get them to dance, get out of their shell. And we're not doing all that talking. We're just having a beautiful, beautiful night, right? We're supposed to have movie night and watch Harlem Nights, but they just were so turned because they were drinking. They was drinking hard liquor. They started off with Pinot Grigio because this white man was pouring it, and they started calling him the butler. The Black man did start calling the butler the king. So he was pouring Pinot Grigio and they're drinking that. And then they started drinking tequila. And tequila, it was either tequila or Hennessy. I think it was Hennessy. It was dark liquor. I started drinking that, and it just got really turned. And so me and this really sweet white lady I met, a white Latina, we started, she came, I invited her to watch a movie. So it was supposed to be movie night, come and watch a movie with me. She finally came in there. And we started watching Harlem Nights, and she loves Harlem Nights. I said, girl, you got a black card for that. So she's laughing, and she's quoting things from the movie before they even came up. That's how I knew she was real. So me and her laughing and watching the movie, and she's looking at these beautiful Black women like, wow. She was the one that gave me compliments and told me how beautiful my skin was and how beautiful I looked. So big her up right now. Then my other people decided they wanted to come and watch a scary movie. So they cut off our movie, and she left because she didn't want to watch. She don't like scary movies. So she left and she went back in the room, and I apologized to her the next day because I was like, that was so rude of them to do that. But they were drunk, so they weren't, thinking. So anywho, I finally decided to call it a night because I told them I was here comes another train. I'm just going to speak a little louder. I told them I was going to cook them breakfast. And so I went and I cleaned out the kitchen, cleaned it from top to bottom, washed all the pots and things that I would need. I started to set the kitchen up so it could be ready for me to start doing cooking. The king said he was going to make pancakes. I was doing grits, eggs, and turkey bacon. The only thing I won't be able to eat was the grits. And I was okay with that because I was cooking for everybody. This was an act of love. Right? So, and it's 10:30 on the clock. That's my mother's birthday, October the 30th. So big up my beautiful mother, the queen goddess and god of that household. So anywho's, I get it all prepared. The king comes in and he helps me. He takes the trash out. He finishes up with some touches. He takes the dustpan and I sweep it in there because he was going to do his stuff. I said, no, we can work as a team together. Let me sweep it in the dustpan. And then he just swept up the little bit of remnants. So we worked together. And then after I did that, I prepared the rest of my tacos because I made some really good tacos. I don't call myself vegan or plant-based. I just live a healsol life. My life is healing. So I made life food and I ate. I was about to get a chair and sit down. And then my family that I just met, my soul family, said, you're not about to sit in the chair. We're going to make room for you on this big ass comfy sofa. And they made space for me. And one of them was an older white man named Daniel. And I love Daniel. He's so sweet. He was really sweet. Anywho, so I sat and I ate my tacos. And after I finished eating my 2 tacos, because it was midnight around that time, or going on 1, actually it was 1 something. I said, y'all, I need to lay down because I'm getting up early. I get up early and every AM. I get up before the sun rises. So I said, I want to get a little bit of rest. And I wished them a good night. And I left them and I went to go lie down. And I lied down. And let me give y'all the secret, my queens. Start listening to Stevie Wonder. I ain't never heard a man give so much love to a melanated queen as Stevie Wonder. All of his music is celebrating us, and it's all love music. It's a love frequency. Get into Stevie Wonder. So I had made a Stevie Wonder playlist because I have Tidal, and I was listening to Stevie Wonder sing love songs to me all night. I put it in my ear until it turned into Motown love songs. And then I woke up and I started doing stretching on my body. My muscles were tight because I had been doing a lot of dancing because that's the exercise. That's good exercise, just to move your body and your muscles and your meridians, right? Your nadis, NADIS. So I was moving all my body and my meridians and getting the blood and energy flowing in my body, and also shaping my body at the same time, so that when the filling in of love comes in and it starts filling in on the outside, it's filling in the places I want it to fill in. So my muscles were sore because I've really been dancing. So I'm massaging my muscles. If you do workout, start massaging your muscles. That's putting love into your body. I'm doing it. I'm stretching and I'm listening to that. And then I lob it down for a little bit. And then I woke up at 5:05 a.m. I got up and I started to get ready before I started cooking. So cleaning up my body, getting my hair done, putting on my clothes. And then I started to cook. I put the water on the boil. As the water's on the boil, I went to find me a new Airbnb, which is a place I'm at right now that I check out of today. And then I got back to the cooking. I started making the grits. I cut the turkey bacon up because it was a small pack. I cut it up into little slices so that everybody can get some. And then I started to cook the turkey bacon. I didn't cook the eggs because I promised everybody that the food will be ready around 8:30. So then I waited till about 8:30 and I scrambled the eggs. I set everything up nice and neat, had the plates ready for everybody. And I told the one who was pregnant that she needed to eat first. So I said, you come first, queen, and then anybody else who wants to eat. I told them that there was food that was for everybody to partake in, right? It didn't matter, anybody who's there. Only a few decided to partake. I told them that if they so felt in their heart, they can give me a love donation. Nobody gave me one. It's okay, because I'm always good, right? And I was doing it from my heart. It was never about money. However, the money, when people give you that, they're showing you that they value what you do. That's all it is. It's a value system. So after that, I spent a little time. I lit candles to clean out the energy. I took the sheets off my bed because I always clean up. I clean up every Airbnb space. Every Airbnb space. They shouldn't even charge me cleaning fees because I do way more cleaning than they do before you even get in here. But that's neither here nor there. I say my goodbyes. I say my thank yous for everything they taught me and all that good stuff, right? Before I come to this spot. Now, I'm actually going to go backwards because I want to tell you about the experience that I got sick. And this is the last story I'm going to tell before I end this live. The day before, my last day, and the day before I had this beautiful moment with the melanated people in that hostel, I met this WIGHT man, and he's from Hiram, Georgia. He told me it's very racist. He told me why he was in Miami. He had left his wife because all he was doing was getting unhappier and unhappier and fatter and fatter. And he had been working on losing weight. He had already lost a lot of weight. I applauded him for that. He told me he had been in the military. He had bad knees. And we talked about all these things. He told me about the dog whistle call that Trump did. And that's exactly what it was. It was a dog whistle call to call up the pot of racism that had been boiling and simmering for so long, right? And he told me how he saw people he had known his whole life turn into motherfucking crazy animals with the rise of Trump. He said he saw the most hate come out of people that he didn't even know was there, even though it had always been there. Because they would say things, but you ignored it. People always showed you who they were. So he had to get away from that shit because it was unbelievably crazy. He thought he was in the Twilight Zone. So he came to Miami to get away from it. He told me about his daughter and how she was addicted to drugs and she was in and out of prison. People tell me their stories because I'm the truth and the light, right? Always. I'm mama. My Virgo ascendant made me the divine mother. I'm not just the earth mother. I'm Isis in this bitch, y'all. I'm a set now. Anywho's. So he tells me his story. And after he finishes telling me his sob story, right? I then tell him, I said, well, you know what? Because he asked me where I grew up. I said, I grew up in Fairburn, Georgia. I said, I was born in Atlanta, Georgia, but when I was going to the 3rd grade, my daddy moved us to a predominantly white neighborhood. I said, I remember the first time we went to the park and I saw they had carved KKK in the benches. And I said, do you know the fear that puts in a little black girl when all the movies show you what they have done to little black girls, the raping and the killing of us, beating of us? To Kill a Mockingbird is one of those stories. I said, and there are many more of them. I said, do you know the torture that Black girls have went through? How we've been told our skin is ugly, our features are ugly, our hair is ugly, and we tried to assimilate and conform to something that was safer and made you feel better and less fearful of us? He couldn't even look me in the eye, y'all. I told him about epigenetics. I didn't use that word. I said, do you know that our DNA, right? That in our DNA for melanated people is a whole bunch of trauma, a whole bunch of pain and suffering. And I said, do you know that in your DNA is a lot of hate? And I'm smoking this blunt with him. I normally don't smoke with just anybody, but something in my spirit told me to do it. And that weed was strong and I felt it. And then when I finally knew, he tried to give me some more and I said, nope, I'm good. And the smart thing that I did, y'all, is I had my water bottle next to me and I had this smoothie I had made. I had made a banana smoothie for myself. I had that next to me and I was drinking that and I was drinking water at the same time. So I was giving myself substance at the same time. And so I told him basically what the GHT people needed to do in order to clear out their insanity and to clear out their heart. I said, taking accountability and apologizing for all of the pain and the torture you have inflicted and continue to inflict on people that look like me. I said, we were born into this skin and we have been treated like shit ever since for it. He told me he could not look at me, y'all. He like this. No, I don't know about that. Like, I don't know how we could ever do that. You're basically telling me you can't even apologize for what you will not take accountability and responsibility for how you have tortured Black bodies, how you have raped us, how you have killed our children, how you have killed women, how you hung us from trees, how you have dragged us from cars. Look at Emmett Till's body. Look at Emmett Till's body. You will not take responsibility. You will not take responsibility for the sins of your fathers. You are your fathers. You are their DNA. You want Black people to take accountability and responsibility for everything that Black people have done that look like us, but you don't think you have to do the same thing. And you wonder why your line is cursed. You will die. The sun will only get hotter this summer. It's the real purge is coming. You will burn in the hell that the Bible's been talking about. This is Revelations, y'all. This is the real apocalypse. Apocalypse right now. So anywho's, after I tell him, I end the conversation because he showed me that he was not going to apologize for what his fathers have done before him and so on and so forth. The sins of the father. He will not take responsibility because it's too hard to do it. I felt very high and I needed to wash my clothes. I go inside and I sit down in a place that I sit. It's a desk and it's where I have my laptop. And I start feeling sickness in my sacral chakra, like an attack on my sacral and my solar plexus and my heart. Those were the 3 places I got an attack: sacral, solar, and heart. And it was because I had taken in his hate and his fear, and it was trying to attack my body. And for a minute, I thought, I was like, shit, it looked like it might win. Then my spirit said, you are the holistic energy alchemist. Act like it. I started doing Reiki on myself, and it hurt so bad. I had to take my hands off it for a minute, and I would put it back on when I could take some more, and I would take my hands off of it. And it was so much pain that it was causing me, and the Reiki was so powerful that I wound up putting my head down and taking a nap right there. I didn't go lay in that bed. I could not move. I had to sleep right where I was. And I slept for about 2 hours. That's how long it took for my body to transmute that shit. That his hate and his fear that comes from his line. I felt how they feel, and it is sickening. It literally is death, right? But I transmuted it. I did. One of the white men told me he came and checked on me to make sure I was still breathing, because he thought I was dead. He didn't know if I was okay. Wow. That's the one that I said I was cool with. His name is Daniel. And I had to send him love, because he's the only person that checked on me to make sure I was okay. I was laying there with my head down on a desk. I ingested their hate, y'all. And it's not pretty. It's disgusting. It's filthy. And it's sick, and it's death. And it's the death of them. It's the death to any of them that will not be honest with themselves about what they have done and take accountability like everybody else. Adults know you have to take responsibility and accountability for your actions. They still think they don't have to do it. And we keep telling them that they don't have to do it. Look at what happened to my eye. That's telling them they don't have to take responsibility. That's how this system is set up. That's how this world is set up. And that's why it's falling. The Rastas call it Babylon. It is fallen, bitch. Not falling. It's already fallen. Period. It's done. It's a wrap. Anybody with that mind, you will fall with it too. I don't care if you have melanin. Your melanin is toxic when you have a dog mind. You're going to die, because melanin can either be your healer or it can be your worst motherfucking enemy. Mine is a healing energy. That's why I'm good. Now, the last thing I will say before I end this, first of all, I want to thank, I just want to thank everybody who's actually been really watching my journey, and who went from the beginning, who didn't just pick one thing and just go with it. And that's the only thing. You actually saw that I was telling y'all about my journey, and I was sharing with you guys, because I needed to do that. I needed to do a YouTube channel because I felt alone when I first came into consciousness. I felt nobody else understood me. So I needed to express myself in this way. So thank you for all the ones who actually went to the beginning when I was recording videos in Jamaica. Thank you. All right. This is the last thing that I will say. The white woman, white Latina, who I don't even know, I won't call her Latina because I don't know if she's Latina, but the white woman who was at the hostel the day that I was leaving there, she came up to me. She told me everything, told me her story and how she had been treated and disrespected by men. She told me about a man that was staying at the hostel and how he tried to touch her and treat her like she was a prostitute. She told me all these things, and I gave her love. I gave her understanding and compassion, because that's who I am. Even though I tell everybody the truth about themselves, I still give you compassion and love. That's my Kuan Yin heart. That's the goddess Kuan Yin in me, right? It's the God in me. It's the love in me. And she was also the one, like I told you, that gave me all the compliments about my dark skin and told me how beautiful I was. One of the white men also did that. He asked me, how do you girls stay looking so young? And I didn't even say it's the melanin. I just say I take care of myself. I feed myself life. I didn't have to give him nothing more than that. He also tried to give me his phone number of some production company he has, and telling me I have a gift and I will make good TV, and he wants to put me on TV and all this stuff, whatever. So going back to this beautiful white woman who actually showed me that there is some hope for y'all, even though I don't believe in hope. She apologized. She said, I'm sorry that happened to you. That should have never happened to you. I apologize for that. Wow. So that's why I say there are some that that is starting to see the light. But for the ones of you that are not, that are still trying to pretend that you are good and you are pure and you are innocent and you are still under the programming that you are superior, when DNA speaks for itself and scientifically speaking, we can absorb light. We just get darker. The light is light codes and it's information. You're not getting the information and the keys to the motherfucking universe. The sun burns you. You repel it. And this summer it's gonna really burn your asses. It's gonna get in your ass because it's not the same sun. It's just not, y'all. The sun before us was the ego sun. That sun died. The sun that's up there now is the soul. It's the real shit. It's the spiritual sun. And it's taking no prisoners. Everybody who is disrespectful and that's hateful in your mind, that the ones that look like me and you hate yourselves, you will burn for it. You will burn alongside of them. The ones who have bleached your skin, you will burn. You will just burn. And to be honest, I do not feel sorry for you. You've had every opportunity to come into your right mind. Every single opportunity to become the phoenix from the ashes. I did the work. I was in Scorpio energy for a long time. What felt like a long time. I was in Scorpio energy since I was in Florida. I came out the phoenix. Look up Scorpio and all the different animals that are tied to Scorpio. It starts with the scorpion, and then the highest form of it is the phoenix. It even has an eagle in that motherfucker. Scorpio has many depths to it. I think it ties into the 7 chakras, and you're supposed to go up the ladder till you get to your crown. And once you get there, you have flipped your pole. Earth has flipped its poles. The south is now on top and the north is on the bottom. It flipped like you do when you're in the womb. When you first in the womb, you're right side up. But in order to come out your mother, you have to flip and turn so you can come out head first. That's how you know we're coming into the upside down, because we start out upright and then we turn and flip. We are in the upside down. That's what this represents. And so I have flipped my poles. That's why my hair is red now, because my south is on here and my north is on the bottom. I'm in alignment with ascension. I'm in alignment to go back to my true north, the North Pole, to go back to heaven. I'm good, y'all. How about you? I've had my CashApp and my PayPal on there. Nobody thought that I was worthy enough to give. Nobody ever donated, not one dime. But people will throw away money to these men reading stuff that they learned in books. Most of the shit I gave you, y'all, was coming from the source of all things. I would smoke weed and then give you downloads. I was giving you so much value, but nobody saw my value. But it's okay, because now guess what? I see my value. I understand why I didn't even know my value. So of course people weren't going to give to me when I didn't really know it, but I know it now. I know it now. And so I have the keys to the kingdom, y'all. I am walking in my birthright. I have a sovereign mind, a free mind, a God mind. It's time for y'all to get y'all's. So anybody who's really, really serious about a spiritual initiation, I'm about to go ahead and get my website. I actually hid my services because I wasn't ready for it, but people will be able to book with me on my website. You have to go through my website, not through IG, not through anything else. You go through my website and you will have to book the services that way. I will have to have a Zoom conference with you. And when I have the Zoom conference with you, I will see if you're ready for a spiritual initiation. If you're not ready, I will still give you free tools so you can start to get yourself prepared. I promise you, I am here to help my queens. My services are for queens. They're for queens. It is. And then I will also help you and work with your children when it's time. That's a separate service though. But I got to start with my queens first so you can start healing your own selves and come back into your God mind, ladies. Build up your inner goddess in yourself. You are the goddess and you are the God. You are the end all be all queens. You are the Alpha and the Omega. We got to get our minds right first before these men can get it right. Because right now, Conscious Community is an ego show. It is a dick contest. Everybody's whipping out their dick, saying who's best. Oh, and I walked with Dr. Sabi. I was with Bobby Hemmett. I was here at the beginning of it. What, you want a cookie, motherfucker? I don't give a fuck. Spirit over matter. You saw them in their material forms. I can commune and channel anybody in a spirit form. That's what's important, because that's the only thing that truly exists. This shit will perish. We are ascending. The earth is about to become less and less dense because she's ascending back to where she came from, back to the heart. Your heart is the gateway out of here. Love is the gateway out. If you don't want to be caught back up in the cycles of reincarnation, you will clean out your heart, my loves. And that's what I'm here to help you do. I love y'all with all of my heart, and I will give you truth. I will never lie to you. I will never lie to you. I will never lie to you, queens. I won't do it. I will give you love. I will give you compassion, because I will not put you down for putting that shit in your head. I won't put you down for that. I know why you did it. I did it. We were taught to hate ourselves. Now I'm going to teach you how to love yourself. I'm about to teach you how to love music. Soul child, okay? So I'm going to end on that note. 2 hours. I gave y'all 2 hours of love. So thank you for tuning into my frequency. Thank you for the ones who actually magnetize my frequency, because I've always been here for you. That's why it don't matter how many subscribers I have. I can have 2, but if I impact those 2 people's lives, then I am good. I literally had the people from the hostel call me yesterday and told me that I brought happiness into there. They said, you brought happiness here, and you are always welcome. We miss you already, and I have been gone a day. One day, y'all. Anywho, like I said, I love y'all. You can reach out to me on my website. It'll be up and running by tomorrow, because I'm going to go ahead and do some work and update some things. Like I said, my Reiki sessions are a spiritual initiation. I don't have to be there to do it. I literally prefer not to be there. I prefer to do it distance Reiki. But I can do a Zoom call with you while I'm doing it. I play music and I set the mood. I actually ask you your playlist. What songs actually make you feel like you are worthy? And I ask for a certain amount of songs. And then I play those songs and I do the Reiki session from there, because I know that music is a frequency and I'm tuning into your frequency. That's how I do all my sessions. I have a conversation with you, get your playlist, and then I schedule your session. And you have to be, and it's when you can set aside the time that you can actually be still and lie there. And I can send that healing energy to you, because you need to be still. So thank y'all for tuning in. I'm about to leave this place and move on to my next adventure. I'm Dora the Explorer in this bitch. I am my own queen bee. Love y'all. Peace.